Hi, hello, and welcome back to my video tutorial series, JavaScript Crash Course for experienced developers, and this is part 3. So, in the previous classes, we have learned about variable declaration and different data types in JavaScript. And in this class, we are going to see more deep into object and array, especially like how to add and remove properties in an existing object, and also how to add and remove elements from an array. So to add a new property to an object, like for example, here I have name ACT, but my profession I have missed here. So if I want to add the profession also to this object, how do I do that? There are two syntax. Okay, first one is the dot syntax like we have for retrieval. Okay, person dot profession equal to software engineer. Okay, so now I'm able to add a new property to an existing object using dot syntax, right? So now I can also do the same the using the bracket syntax. So what do I add further? Profession, name, age, okay, gender equal to male. So yeah, both will work. Now let's see the output. Console.log person. So initially when we add person, we miss these two things and we are only adding these two properties after the declaration. Okay, one with the dot syntax and the other with the bracket syntax. Okay, let's see the output. Why do I have this? Okay, no issues. Okay, let's come to the output. Okay, so now the output here, when you open this object, you can see, yes, the profession and the gender we added after the variable is actually declared. Okay, so this is clear, right? So to add some extra property or some keys to the existing object, we use this dot syntax and the bracket syntax. Okay, and then just put an equal to like we do for a general variable declaration, and it works. And in case if you want to remove something, okay, what do you do? There's something called delete as a keyword, and yes, the syntax is already suggested. Okay, so delete person dot test, which means we are saying to delete this particular property. Okay, and maybe I also don't want this testing property, then I can also use the bracket syntax here. So anywhere we can use this bracket syntax, also this dot syntax. So now this person object should not have this test and testing. Let's see. Yeah, the test and testing is gone. So this is how we add new properties or remove existing properties from an existing object. This is clear, right? Okay, so how do we do the same in arrays? Maybe I'll remove this. This is not needed anymore. Okay, so consider I want to add one more friend here at the last index. Okay, after the last index. So we already have index 0, index 1. Maybe we change this back to string. Okay, so now we have Ayyappan, Vishal, and Vijay. Now maybe I also have to add Surya at the end. Okay, so how do you do that? We have something called push. So put the array's name and then put a dot and push, and okay, it is suggested as Karthik, fine. So what does this push means? Push is to push an extra element to the existing array. So friends.push are now pushes one more element, which is Karthik, to the friends array. So let's see the output. Friends. Okay, so yeah, the Karthik is added. So how do you remove one? I mean, if you want to remove like just consider the Karthik is already here. Okay, and instead of pushing, if I want to remove this Karthik, that is if I want to remove the last element. Okay, so for that we can use something like pop. Okay, so now console.log friends, now you should not be seeing Karthik. Let's say, yeah, So the same way, if you wanted to add something at the first of an element to the first of an array, so we have something like, sorry, is it shift or unshift? Wait, let's see. I actually forgot what is this right function. So there is something called shift and unshift. I guess it is unshift. Okay, so unshift, and now let's see the output. What? Okay, so unshift is not to, okay, so unshift is right, but we have to say what to add. Okay, then Vinesh. So friends.unshift Vinesh is going to add Vinesh as the first element or the zeroth index element of this array. That is in the beginning, at the beginning, right? Okay, so now the output is Vinesh, Ayyappan, Vishal, Vijay, Karthik. That is, Vinesh is newly added with this unshift. And if you want to remove the first element of an array, we have shift. Okay, so you don't want this. So shift is now going to remove the element Ayyappan, which is in the zeroth index. Yeah, so now the output is Vishal, Vijay, and Karthik. Clear? So what if you wanted to remove something here or here or here? So there are a few other functions for this. Okay. But I'm not going to dive deep into all these functions. Maybe for those slice functions like this, we will be going for a separate class. I don't want to talk much about it here because before doing all these things, I wanted to talk about something called functions first. Okay. But in case you are curious, you can just go to Google and Google as JavaScript array methods, and you can refer this website MDN Web Docs. This is official documentation for developers by Mozilla.org. Okay, so here now you can see all these things that we can use with array. Okay, and this is push, which we used just before, and we used pop here, and we used the shift. Where is shift? Shift. Uh-huh. Yeah, the shift. So you can quickly read it here, like the shift method of array instance remove the first element from an array and returns that removed element. We didn't learn what is this return and all, because that's why I told I want to first talk about function and then further talk about few other things like splice, and we also will be learning map, these methods as well. But for now, this is fine. Okay, but if you're curious, you can also go through this different methods that we have in array. Okay. So I think that's it for this class. Maybe we can learn about functions in a fresh part 4. Okay. So generally you understand we have objects, you know, to retrieve the properties from objects with dot syntax and bracket syntax. The same way you also know now to add and delete methods from or properties from the object, and the same way you also know to add and remove elements in the either side of an array, in the beginning of the array and also in the end of the array, right? We use shift, unshift, we use push, pop, etc. So this is clear, right? Okay, that's it for this part, guys, and I'll catch you in part 4 where I'm going to talk about functions in JavaScript. Thank you.